Hey guys, it's been a crazy week. Picked up a bunch of comics in a bunch of different places, including another trip to the Stormville flea market. Hey guys, this is Jim from Bronzeville Comics with another video of comics that I picked up in the last week. If you like the channel, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. We're going to get into it. So a couple packages came and there's some stories to share from comic collecting this week. Ones that aren't unique, but you know, we can all relate to. So I don't even know what's in some of these packages. So I'm going to open up the first one. Who's it? Oh, it's between two priority mailers. Is that tape? It's taped. Ooh, this is nice. So what we have here, I got to remove some tape. I use the packing tape right on the electrical tape on the back. I don't think I've ever seen electrical tape on the back of a comic bag, but there's a first time for everything. I've seen painter's tape, I've seen masking tape, I've seen stickers, I've seen packing tape, I've seen scotch tape, I've seen yellowing scotch tape, never seen electrical tape. But what I have here is a copy of Batman 136. I'm trying to complete my, go backwards in my Batman run. Completing it is kind of a wishful thinking sort of deal, because, you know, to get like issue 1 is going to be a challenge, to say the least. You know, there's several others as we get earlier. Then I got home one day and this was on the front steps, this package. And I pulled out, I opened it up because I was scared for the comic safety. I opened it up and there was a comic in here. I'm going to cut right now to a video I made at that moment when I opened up this, as I was opening up this package. Take a look. Okay guys, I just got this package today in the mail and I opened it up because it was in this big floppy envelope. And this is, you know, a book that I just ordered. I pulled this cardboard out, and if you can see, the book inside isn't even bagged. It's just kind of in there precariously. So I'm gonna carefully, I guess I just have to cut one side and the thing will kind of slide out. I'll cut one side here and get rid of the tape actually. But this is a how-to on how not to pack a comic book. And this isn't like just a regular, this isn't, you know, a $2 comic that I ordered. Look at this. I guess this is why I got it for a reasonably good deal. The comic that was in there is Green Lantern 59, the first appearance of Guy Gardner. And as we know, Guy Gardner has already been cast for the HBO Max Green Lantern series. So this is a huge key. This is, with a press, this is potentially a really nice book. I think with a press, it's at least a 7. But no bag, flimsy envelope, it really had me frightened. So that's the story of that one. That was one of the crazy things this week. So this is well packaged. Cardboard, bubble wrap, comic bag, lots and lots of tape. I was really scared that there was going to be, it was amazing that this book didn't come into contact with the tape around that, around the cardboard in that packing. So that was a scary situation. So fast forward through this. You see the book before I do? No. Okay. I'm not even sure what book this is, so we'll find out. Got a backing board on top of it, and here we go. I gotta take the tape off because I don't want to use, yikes, I don't want to use the knife at this point. Okay, we got a nice issue of Hands of Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu, number 115. That's a key issue, so that's just something I picked up kind of randomly on a late night auction, I think. Let's see, what do we have next? This is another, this is nice. This is a high-grade copy of Star Wars number 3. The Star Wars, the early books were written and drawn before the movie came out. So the artists hadn't seen the characters yet. That's why you have kind of this off-brand Chewbacca in issue number 3. So I just picked that up because it was a good price for a key issue. And then our last package of the week. Let's see what we got here. And then we're going to talk about the flea market. Okay, this is another book from my DC 1972 collection. As I've said, you've heard me before, a lot of romance books in 1972. What's kind of interesting about this is 1972, remember, is there are African-American characters on the cover. That was a little bit unique, but she's having some sort of crisis in her love life, and that's another copy. So that's what came in the mail. Saturday, I went up to the Stormville, they don't call it the flea market, they call it the ultimate yard sale. They have a lot of people, a lot of the same vendors, some people who come up with, just instead of selling it in their backyard, they bring it up there. So I was hunting around a lot of comics I had already dug through either in the spring or last week, but did find some unique stuff. There was one vendor that had a lot of kind of cheaply priced sets that I just picked up just, you know, as reader sets. So X-Men Ronin, I picked up Heroes Return. There's a whole bunch of extras in that. That was about $10. And then this I already have, but this has some value, and I'm a big Steve Rude fan. He was the artist on Nexus, which you've seen me unboxing a lot of those in recent weeks. The X-Men Children of the Atom. This is a really good read. I have this, but this is also worth something. So that was at one booth. At another booth, they had like some mostly stuff that wasn't bagged. So I did pick up some Spider-Mans, a Spider-Woman with the Werewolf by Night. These are at best mid-grade copies. A Warp from upside down backwards from First Comics. Those were just like, you know, a couple bucks each. I picked up, but I got a bunch of Avengers comics. So these were, and some other stuff. The non-bag stuff was like $1 a book. Lobo's Back #1, Infinity Gauntlet 2, Avengers 222, Batman 414, and this, New Teen Titans 38, Who is Donna Troy. This is one of the best single-issue stories, maybe the best single-issue story I've ever read. It's really a great read, so I figured I'd pick up a copy of that. And then a bunch of Avengers, 183, 249, 201. These were all in bags, so they're in pretty nice shape. 214, 188, 250, 170, 166. I picked up a Moon Knight 26. There's some significance to that I don't remember. And then, actually, this was a book that Very Gary picked up in Stormville last week. Wanda being, I think, possessed by the Darkhold and takes hold of the Avengers. She goes bad. So this, maybe it's a minor key. I did find, you know, this is one of the things when you're at these, especially these yard sales, there was a guy just opening up 4 short boxes on the back of his pickup truck. And so I was the first one to go through it. A couple people I talked to later said, yeah, he had nothing. I go, yeah, I got it all. And so these were basically about $1 a book. Ren and Stimpy #1. And in Ren and Stimpy #1, there was a second print, but the first print can be detected because it has a poly bag. A Radioactive Man #1. these are in pretty good condition. Probably at least 9s. Itchy and Scratchy #1. Simpsons #2. There are 2 copies in here. Bartman #1, another one with 2 copies. So that's a popular. And then these I grabbed. How can you pass these up for the price? These were like I think a few bucks each. 2 Silver Age Thor comics, not in the best of shape, but for a couple of bucks each, you can't say no. And I picked this up to a Venom Enemy Within set. That was a couple of bucks. And then, of course, the big vendor there for comic book people was Streetside Anthony was set up. And I spent most of my time there looking for a few books, talking to people. Doug Bratton was there. A lot of, some other comic book people were there. So we had a good time just talking about comics. And so I picked up a few things from him. He made me a great deal, as he always does. Man Without Fear set. So that's just, I had stopped collecting Daredevil at one point, so I figured pick this up. This is a real high quality copy of this dollar comic of Detective Comics $4.93. I'm looking to complete my Superboy and Legion of Superheroes run, so these were a couple of issues I needed. And then there was one book I was looking at, and I've been eyeing this book for a while, and I had seen he was doing a claim sale, and I saw that he had this book, and he still had a copy of it. And so I said, this is the book I have to take home today. Vengeance #1, the first appearance of Miss America, America Chavez, who is going to be in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So this is a key book. I'm really happy to have this one. So excited about that. I'm going to, take a closer look at that, read that once, and send it off to CGC. That was Saturday. On Sunday, there was a local flea market that I had been to before. And there's no books. No more books for me to go through, but this is kind of a funny story. And actually, this whole kind of weekend was crazy. Very Gary, his video that came out Friday, we ran into each other at Stormville last Saturday, so he shouted me out in his Friday video. When I got home from Stormville on Saturday, Streetside Anthony called me. He's like, have you seen YouTube yet? I'm like, no, I don't think so. He goes, you won the Comic Tom prize for the week. So I was the winner at the beginning of his thing is Bronzeville Comics. You won. It's, I believe, a Peach Momoko variant cover of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 110. So that was just kind of fun to get. So I went to this local flea market today, and there was a guy there who I had bought some books from in the spring. And he just picks up stuff. He has a lot of DVDs, VHSs, all sorts of junk. He has a van, and it kind of looks like he stole it out of Fred Sanford's yard. And that's where he keeps all his stuff. So I went over, and I'm like, do you have any comics? He goes, I got a box of comics in the van. He goes, I got to climb in because the back door is broken. I didn't realize how broken the back door was. So he brings out a box of comics like this, mostly newer stuff. On top is a Black Panther. I'm not sure what issue it was. It was from within the last 5 years, and it's wavy. And so I picked that up, and it's been, water damaged. And I start to dig down, and I put my hand further down into the box, and the books are wet. They're not moist, they're wet. And even if there was something in there that maybe could have been pulled out, was worth something, maybe could have been pressed, I don't even know if the books would have separated from each other without the color coming off on each other. It was really bad. So I did give him my information. He said he had some other books. We'll see what comes of that. I went to a couple of other local garage sales. No comics there. I walked up to one guy. He's sitting on his front lawn. I said, by chance, do you have any comics? He goes, I have comics, but I'm not pulling them out today. I take those to Elephant's Trunk, which is another flea market in Connecticut. And he goes, they're my father's comics and my comics. I'm like, So I touched base with him. Maybe we'll be able to work something out, find some comics there. But that's about it for this week. It's been a crazy week. Picked up the first America Chavez, a book I've been looking for, the first Guy Gardner. So what do you think of my haul? And if you're in the tri-state area, anywhere near New Jersey. I know 360 Comics is coming up from Philadelphia to be there. I was talking with him last night. Doug Bratton is going to try to be there, but there's going to be vendors all over, all sorts of YouTube people. Very Gary's going to be there. Streetside Anthony, he was told he's going to have a table there. They're bringing him in. Erod, Pressable Defects, 3 Men in a Basement. It's the King Con in Clark, New Jersey on Saturday, September 25th. It should be a blast. I plan on going there and just digging through comics and talking comics all day long. I got to figure out, I got to get my list together of what I'm aiming for and what I want to do. I want to maybe try to complete some runs since there are going to be so many vendors, find some random issues that I need, especially for books that there's no reason I don't have the issues to that. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm going to put a copy of the flyer up. I'll put a link to the convention in the description of this video. So that should be a blast. In a couple weeks, I hope to have a really cool haul video from that. And until then, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and enjoy your comics.